All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Of course, on the 1010XL app, make sure you download that. You can catch this show Tuesday and Fridays, of course, and then all the great shows that are done right here in the podcast room at 1010XL, and we share it all over the place as well, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you watch, listen, what have you, to your favorite podcasts. Catching Up with Tommy Mac, brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. Love my businesses, man. Chris Lucero, Bail Bonds, J-Dog Junk Removal, Azar Sausage, the Carpet Man, Graffiti, Burger Bar. We'll tell you about what's happening Thursday. The Truck Accident Law Firm. Just love them all. They do a great job, and that's why I promote them. I'm very excited because we just got off a great alumni weekend. You're right here, Jay Smooth. We got Jimmy Smith in the house. I know I normally don't have guests on his show, but I do today because Jay Smooth's in town, and great to see you, my man. Thanks for taking the time. Again, right?
Yeah.
What a great weekend. You know, just having all the guys, seeing all the guys. You know, our group from 95 to whatever, those first 5-6 years, that's a special group, man. It's a special group. It's like you don't miss a beat when you see everybody. You know, it's like you've seen them the whole time, and I don't know, we went through a lot of good stuff. Maybe that's what that's about.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to, well, it's home.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we were all from somewhere else, like you were just talking about.
Yeah.
You know, me being born in Detroit. You know,
I didn't know that. Yeah, I know. I know.
And you know, from Chicago.
Yeah. But it is family.
We plug right in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, without even, because living here and being a part of a team, especially a team that's led by, you know, Coach Coughlin.
Yep.
Which congratulations to him, by the way.
Isn't that great? About time. But good.
And it's plug right in.
Yep.
You know, it's amazing. It just picks up where it left off.
I know.
Like we broke the huddle. And,
I know.
You know, even though it was last year, but you know, we were just in the huddle together.
That's right. So it's great.
It's a lot of ways you can kind of, you know, explain it and visualize it.
You and I have been buddies a long time, man. People don't know that. I don't know, you know, I don't go out there, hey, but you and I have been friends, man. We've always had a good relationship and had fun together and played together. And we were on punt block team together.
Yeah.
On that time, you got those 3 touchdowns. And what was that, Denver? It was at Denver.
Denver.
You scored on a punt block.
Yeah.
Kickoff return. And then a touchdown reception, right?
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
That was crazy. Awesome. 1995.
You know, and I always had.
You lined up right next to me, too. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
You know, I always had good games in Denver for some reason. You know, suffer from you know, asthma, being born with it, and playing at a high altitude.
It's tough to breathe when you're playing out there.
Yeah, but not having the education that you need on how to prepare for it.
Right.
You know,
and how to deal with it.
Yeah. But you know, it was something to overcome. You know, struggling. You know, it's like you're breathing through a straw.
It is.
The entire game. And I know by my son playing at Wyoming, they use altitude at their advantage.
Absolutely.
I mean, the third and fourth quarter, whether it's the NBA, you know, the Nuggets, or if you're, you know, if you got to go up there prepared to play in the third and fourth quarter.
Right.
Because you're struggling with the altitude.
That thin air.
If you start fast and that's a strategy right there.
Yeah. Same down for us in the, you know, with the heat and humidity.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work for us yesterday.
I think it wasn't not much on
San
Sunday.
Francisco weather.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna. We got a lot to get into, but you were on the field with everybody else, with me. We're standing there, and San Fran gets to the edge of the tunnel, and I look. Trent Williams was in front. They all looked like they were ready for a rumble. They looked like they were ready to rock and roll, be physical. And I tell you what, they out-physicaled us. They punched us in the mouth, and we did not have an answer, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Joey Bosa, and I see why he is Joey Bosa.
Oh, he's great. Great player. Their D-line's great.
You're right. You can feel their energy and their fans.
Oh.
Because.
Ton of fans.
And you know, I'm a player, I know this, but it got my attention being on the field pregame.
Yeah, I agree.
What our players are feeling.
Yep.
If our players obviously there's much respect for who your opponent is on the sideline, but when you look up and you see a sea of what is it? Scarlet, garlic,
scarlet, whatever they are.
49ers taking over, just like it's like bacteria.
Algae spreading around.
Yeah, it's killing our peel.
Yeah.
And that affects and fans need to know that affects.
Yeah, and I don't know how that happens. I don't know how many I don't know how that happens. I don't think Jag fans are selling them to them. I just think they get them so early. Yeah. They plan their trips, what have you. Look, I mean, you got to deal with the crowd, whatever it is. You're on the road, you deal with the crowd. At home, you deal with the crowd. It doesn't matter. I mean, you saw the crowd last night with Buffalo. Holy cow, were they loud. Yes. They were unbelievably loud. And yet still, they had 12 men on the field for a field goal that they ended up losing that game because they had 12 men on the field. But back to the Jags. Look, the defense didn't play well. The offense didn't play well. What do you think's missing with this offense, Jimmy? I mean, look, the offensive line, and again, regardless of the 3-game streak of the 3 losses that San Fran had prior to this game, they still have stars all over the field, including on defense. So I got to give them credit. I mean, Warner's one of the best backers in the game. You got Bozy, you got now Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Hargrave. I mean, these guys Ward, the DB, these guys are great players, but we couldn't get anything going. And even when we started to get stuff going, there'd be a fumble, there'd be a pick, there'd be something that just kept killing any kind of momentum, any kind of energy towards scoring. What do you think's missing?
You just said it. Those turnovers, those penalties. That's the energy that's felt that we talked about.
Yep.
When you come out and you look up at a sea of 49er fans.
Yep.
Once you feel that energy along with your opponent, well, things start not to, you got momentum, but is it real momentum? We just out-schemed them and got them out of position, but basically what you're saying is we're overmatched. It's not a good matchup. I'm not going to say we're overmatched.
Yeah.
Some teams, you can have all these stars, but if it's not a good matchup, what are you trying to do then?
Well, and I look, those all play factors in it, but when it's 20-3 in the third quarter and you're driving and there's a fumble on the 5-yard line, like Christian Kirk's trying to make a play, I get it, but man, the security of the ball's got to be top priority. And then look, they called the touchdown back, but they still went down and scored, and then it's 27-3. If you make that 20-10, late in the third quarter, you know how momentum goes. You got it. Now maybe you got a chance. You know what? Now maybe the crowd doesn't matter. You know what? Now maybe all these superstars don't matter. We can actually do some things. You know what I mean?
And you start counting. Okay, they've scored, and they're dominant and they got the momentum. So
that
you're waiting for that big play.
Yep.
And then when that big play comes, you're devastated, and then you start to slowly, gradually think this is not our day.
Right. No, I know. Well, when it's 27-3, it ain't your day.
I think people forget how physical the 49ers are.
They're very physical.
I'm talking about as far as their identity over the years.
Yeah. You think California's soft. They're not soft. They come in with an attitude.
I've never lost to the 49ers, whether it was in preseason or anything. In fact, in 99,
we killed them 41-3 or something.
Oh, yeah.
That was with Young and Rice. They had all the guys.
CEO and all.
Yeah, that's right.
And same type of weather.
Yep,
maybe
it was.
Not as cold.
Yeah, a little rainy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was raining.
Them.
Yeah. And we killed them.
Yeah,
killed them. And defense played good. So it's team-wise, it's got to be, among the coaches, somebody, you got to teach team mentality.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we've seen Trevor do amazing things. Maybe he can come back but it don't always happen that way.
Okay, well, I got a couple questions. First of all, before I ask, I felt like Trevor, he was kind of robotic. Like he never took off and ran once. Like, that's a weapon that he brings to the table. He didn't do any of that, and he had chances to do it. Other things, Smooth. Guys are covered. Now, I want you to speak on this. Guys are covered, but it's one-on-one, and there's nobody over the top. Don't you want your quarterback to take a chance at you? Like, hey, man, if you put it in the right spot. No, if you underthrow me, maybe I get a PI, but they'll probably pick it off. But if you throw it in the right spot and give me a chance to make a play, right? I know that's the mentality, but in reality, you should be doing that all day long. He didn't do that at all. He would not let it go, even when guys might even. I mean, there were times, maybe just a tiny bit of a step on him, not much, but you still got to take those shots, don't you?
Well, yeah. When you know how it is. That's exactly what coaches tell them in the meeting today, or yesterday, whatever. They're having the same conversation, and Trevor's probably like, "Yeah, I agree." Yeah, it's not like they're probably not having the same conversations. I'm sure they are. Yeah,
or had them already since
You asked earlier about what is this team missing. This team is missing Zay Jones. Is obvious.
Yeah,
his presence,
big time. We heard about the arrest yesterday. We're waiting to hear. Look, man, when these things happen, it's misdemeanor, domestic battery. You got to wait. I mean, I'm seeing people on Twitter like already make judgments. I'm like, yo, we don't know what went down yet. Let's find out what went down. But now he's been missing, and now this, and now we don't know the future. What's going to happen with all of that?
Yeah, but Zay Jones is like the least likely of his personality.
I know. Right.
and then I played with his dad. So.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Robert Jones. We were in the same Dallas Cowboy draft. So his dad and mom, they did an awesome job.
Sure.
It's one of those things that happens when you're successful. It happened to me.
Right.
It happened to me several times. This is something different than misunderstanding.
Right.
And he's human.
Yeah.
But getting back to football.
Yeah. They miss him on the field, without a doubt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They need that speed. Yeah.
Well, his speed, but just his presence and the energy that he brings in the huddle.
Yeah.
I saw it in training camp.
Yeah.
In training camp, everybody was talking about the other receivers, Calvin Ridley.
No, I know.
I think we were unfair to Calvin Ridley because we put too much, his expectations. I mean, it's a lot of hype.
I know. Listen, they bought into all the hype. I'm sorry. The team did. The offense did. They were all talking about records and all this stuff during camp.
Well, they're thinking that's the direction that it's going to go.
Yeah, I know.
Even though, the game plan may say different.
Right.
Doug has a different plan. He's going to spread this ball around.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of offense it is.
Yeah.
But it needs Zay Jones' energy in that huddle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It needs.
Well, he's a clutch player. He makes big plays, and that speed on the other side, he could be a number one in other offenses. I mean, he's got that kind of ability, I think. You know what I mean? I think he can. The one thing the problem I'm having with Ridley, although they showed it a little bit, you true number ones like yourself, you love the slant. Give me the slant, put the ball out in front, and let me take it up the field, and let me see if I can make something happen. You normally do. Well, they did a little bit with him this past game, like one or two throws, because that's my concern. You're a big, strong guy. He's not a big, strong guy. So press coverage gives him problems at times.
And then he took a year off last year.
True.
He's
so he's still feeling it, feeling his way?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to feel it.
Yeah.
And, he's he's going to be, but he's going to turn it around.
Yeah.
He's going to get back into the groove.
Yeah.
You gotta go through these things. It just can't be win.
No, I know.
But when you compare him to me, we had a base offense that, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yep.
We're going to run Fred. We're going to run Nate Trummings. Our offensive line is bigger than yours.
Yep. Right. More powerful, push you around.
We're going to control the ball game. And if you try to come out, you try to bring somebody in the box, we're going deep and we're going over your head, and it's going to be easy to do.
Right.
Because we got Jimmy Smith out there that's going to win off the muscle.
Right. Off the press.
Muscle, period.
Yep. Okay? What's the muscle? Give me the muscle.
Regardless of what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
When we played the Patriots, Bill Belichick's, his way of stopping me, in addition to a corner, he would bring Willie McInnes out.
Okay. Try to jam you a little bit?
Yes. a little bit. I couldn't get off the line. Because, come on, Willie McGinnis. So,
he's massive, I know.
So the corner drops off, and then they rotate the coverage because they stopped me from getting off the line. Well, that was good.
Yeah.
I think that was,
smart move.
Smart move on how to stop me. But you're putting all your baskets into one.
Right. No,
you got some in the second. You know, we had Fred.
Yeah.
Or it was
Keenan.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
Vice versa. And we got Tony Baselli, that offensive line, and
Stu. We had a good group.
Hard running backs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you got a left hand quarterback that's in my mind is Hall of Fame level. You look at the thing with us, we don't have any padded stats.
Right.
Mark didn't have any padded stats.
Right.
I didn't have any padded stats where of games. Let's just throw to him just to get all these catches so he can get 1,000 catches. No. Each and every one of my catches were meaningful catches.
Right.
To win ball games.
Yeah, right.
Not let's throw this over so he can get his incentive.
Right.
Well, with me, I already had my incentives.
Let me ask you this, Smooth. A lot of people out there are throwing some blame at Press Taylor. Is it the play calling or is it the players when you look at things from a broad? Of course, if you dissected every single play, you could be like, that's a bad. There were a couple play calls I did not like, but I'm in the sense of, look, man, the players execute. You got to execute, and if you do, things should happen. But what's your thought on that? Is it the players or the play call, or is it? How would you go?
Well, you look around the NFL, I don't think, like, when you ask that question, when you say, a lot of the outside noise is saying this, and everybody's outside noise is saying that when you lose. Think about it. Right. It ain't just us.
No, right. But the offense has struggled all year. I mean, not struggled all year, but just hasn't been consistent all year. You know what I mean?
Deep down inside, I didn't expect us to beat the 49ers anyway.
You didn't.
I guarantee you didn't either, deep down inside.
I didn't.
Because you know how the game goes.
Yeah. Well, them being a 3-game loser was. I picked them to win. I picked the Jags to win. But them coming off a 3-game skid, you didn't think they were going to lose 4.
I mean, you can't. The league, it just don't work that way.
Yeah.
Unless you were us 2 years ago. But the 49ers, this is. You've lost 3 straight and you had a bye week.
Yeah.
It's time to win.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Regardless of what
But they came out. They were ready. They were ready.
Yeah.
They looked good coming out.
Yeah.
And Trent, it's funny. You see Trent Williams standing there, and I walk up to T. Brack. I'm like, hey, Brack, let's go size up. Trent Williams. He's like, all right, let's go. And you're like, whoa.
And then he nasty, too.
And he can run. And he's nasty.
Yeah, he's their bully.
Yeah, he is a bully.
Yeah.
I love him. Absolutely. Well, I go through stats every week, Jay Smooth, and we're going to go through them just real quick. Brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. Love all the businesses that are there. And don't forget, Tommy Mac's Happy Hour on Thursdays at Graffiti Burger Bar in Jacksonville Beach. We'll kick it off right around 6:37. Come on out. I am told we have Jaguar tickets to give away this Thursday night. So come on out. Brought to you by Adaptive Jacks, Brackish Vodka, and the Salt Air Inn and Suites. All right, so Smooth, this is what I do. I do the points, which you already know. Yards per carry, yards per attempt. Wait till I tell you what the Niners' yards per attempt were, what Purdy's yards per attempt were. You can see it right here. 3rd down conversion, they both were 4 and 12. 4th down, kind of a non-factor. They had 10 hits on the QB with 5 sacks. We had 7 with 2. Of course, we threw 2 picks. We lost the fumble or the turnover battle. They were +4. We were -4. Yards per attempt at a 73% completion clip, 11.4. yards per attempt compared to our 6.4. That's throwing the ball down the field, Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
That's taking advantage of Jimmy Smith's strength off the line and speed down the field. That's a big, big thing. And they were open. They were way too open for my taste.
Yeah, they were getting behind the defense. I mean, they came out and, it was a good game plan.
Yeah, it was.
Because they
couldn't stop McCaffrey.
The tight end was,
Oh, the second half adjustment, they all right, we're going to Kittle. Like, you know what I mean? Like that bomb, that
How
hurt
do you
him.
be that open to where you can do all that celebrating before you get in the end zone?
Yeah. Well, he
That's
was one-on-one.
Yeah. You know, that's
Lloyd had him one-on-one. He kind of, just lost the ball at the end. He wasn't like totally, but Kittle made a great play. And it was a great throw.
Good throw.
Yeah, it was a good throw. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like he was totally out of position. Great players make great plays sometimes, right?
There you go, and that's the difference when it comes down to, breaking it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to win the matchup?
Yep. Well, you mentioned our O-line being big and bullies. This O-line doesn't bully anybody. They don't, man. And the interior guys, Little, I rewatched the game. Little, Fortner, Scherf. All of them. Don't get me wrong. The tackles didn't do much better, but that inside pressure was getting a Trev, man.
Yeah.
Early and often.
Yeah. Like I said, don't be surprised about how physical the 49ers are.
Yep. Well, guess what? Tennessee's coming. You know what they are. They like to hit.
Yeah. And see, when this is another thing. When a team realizes that you don't hit back.
Oh, forget it. They're going to keep punching you. They're going to keep punching you, man.
See, this is the stuff that they're not talking about on SportsCenter or anything like that.
No, it's true. It's totally true. And it gets demoralizing. You're almost like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Like,
it really comes down to if we were to fight,
Yep.
who would win that fight?
Right. It's a fight.
Well, you're not going to kick my ass. You may win, but you're not going to kick my ass. Or it may be, somewhere there. I may
50-50.
Yeah, this is what goes on during the course of outside the numbers and the game planning and the coaching and the momentum and all that.
Yep.
It comes down to, I know I gotta
whoop that guy's ass in front of you.
That one guy.
Right.
And
which makes it great.
Yeah, it comes down at the end of the day. You can scheme and you can say, okay, he should have ran this and he should have,
Yeah.
Did you kick that other guy's ass that day? Or
Right.
did that guy, you could say it's, okay, they didn't block, that's why I didn't make that catch or that. You can't say that.
Yeah. Right.
Because if you're kicking his ass, you're going to be kicking his ass for 4 quarters.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah,
and it's going to eventually show.
Hey, Grammage is here. He's been in and out of the studio. What's up, Grammage? How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are we doing?
The legendary Jay Smooth in the studio.
Yes, sir.
How about that? Did you see your picture? We got to get a better picture, a bigger picture of Jay Smooth, and get it up higher, man.
No, see, your back, I'm used to 55. Your back too big. See, this picture too small and it's too low. You got to get it up.
Get it up. We got to get it higher.
Up here front and center.
A little bit.
That's right.
So when I watch it, that's a sweet one to peak.
Oh, yeah.
Mix.
How was your weekend, man? I know not a great ending with the Jags losing their shirt, but
my Gators lost a couple of recruits.
He did. That's right. Yeah.
The Jags lost. I've had better weekends of football, to say the least,
me too. BC got killed. They were on a 5-game win streak too, and they just got shellacked.
Getting Jay Smooth in the house makes it much better.
It does. It does. So, Jimmy, of course, I went through your stats. Your stats are unbelievable, man. And it's funny. I love doing it because we all like hearing our stats, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sir, Leon always like, hey, when we played each other in college, how many tackles you had? I'm like, 19. Like, I remember the stat. It was on ESPN, Saturday Night Football. It's 19 tackles. Yeah, right? But let me ask you this. So before I get into the full stat, in 96, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us about 90. Well, I was there, so I witnessed it. We had Bad Moon Rising, right?
Yeah.
And then Bad Moon left because he was being a bad moon and wasn't fitting in for whatever reason. I loved him. I had no problem with him, but I guess he just didn't fit in, and you were rising up. But in 9 games, 9 starts, Smooth, 9 starts. Mm-hmm. Listen to me, Grammage. All right? 9 starts. In 1996, 83 catches, 1,244 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's 9 times starting, being a starter.
Yeah, how about that?
That's video game stuff.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. That's incredible. Incredible.
Well, this is what's funny. Because when they brought Andre Rison in, I knew, brought Keenan in, that was one thing.
Yep.
Me and Keenan had the same agent, get on the phone with the agent before Keenan signs. He's like, well, you got to understand, you and Keenan are 2 different receivers. Okay. Yeah, you're right. After Kenny got here and he was playing the flanker, the slot.
Right, slot,
you know,
right.
And I'm the
X. Yep.
Backside guy. And, but you can't, if there's a player out there, bring him in. I mean, I wouldn't, I was just focused on, they brought Andre Rison in. I'm like, okay, well, that's going to, what they're saying is I'm immediately demoted from being a starter. Because in 95, I started 5 games.
At the end?
At the end.
Yeah.
And so I just used it as motivation.
Okay.
And then when Andre got here, I'm like, I'm noticing when Kelvin Gilbride calls 3 wides, he sends me to the number 1 receiver, which is the X, and moves Andre to the number 3 receiver.
Ooh.
The W.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so that's why you see my stats. I led the entire league in third down catches for
first downs. Yeah.
First down catches.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the third receiver.
No, I know.
I would go in as the third receiver.
Right.
But it was real slick how how they did it, and Andre didn't really realize what was going on. I'm like, okay, I'm coming in. They throwing the ball to me.
Yeah. So the greatest catch, just going to do a little memory here, because I wrote about it in my book, We'll Always Be Pals, I wrote a long time ago. So the Denver game, and it's when Jimmy makes the great catch to go ahead. And I'm kneeling down, and I'm literally like, you could only go to the 20, I think, and I might be on the 19 or something like that. I'm kneeling down, and they come to the line of scrimmage, and you're like, because I'm by the sideline, you're like 5 feet from me or whatever, and I see Brunell just do this. And then I look, and I'm like, ooh, Jimmy's single covered. And then, boom, it happened.
Yeah.
That was an incredible, incredible play in Jaguar history. I had a front row seat, so I was like, holy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That had to be one of your most memorable catches and meaningful ones, I would imagine.
Yeah, see, when we walk into the line, because we had discussed it in the huddle, we didn't think it was going to happen because it hadn't happened all the game. And, Natron was acting a fool that game.
He was, they couldn't stop him. Yeah.
It was, 3rd and 5, and I remember Steve Atwater got hurt and went out of the game. And it was a backup special team guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot Atwater got hurt.
Yeah, it was number 37 from
that poor soul.
What was his name?
Poor guy.
I don't know. I'm Hawk, Matt Hawk or something, number 37.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, he was just a special teams player.
Yeah.
And he was just going, go in there and,
Yeah. Don't let anyone get behind you.
Well, because we hadn't been throwing it. I don't even think that was they wouldn't even line up, the safety was just like, I'm tackling Natron. But the thing about it is when you see Mark, you've seen it in practice, you're like, okay, I see what's developing at the line of scrimmage, and you see Mark do this, that sticks out.
Right.
They don't see it on defense.
No, right. Yeah. The juices just get flowing like, ooh, he just gave you the nod.
Yeah, here it comes.
It's going to be fun. Here it comes.
Yeah. That's a tense moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can slowly see it develop, huh?
No doubt about it. So Smooth, obviously, Hall of Fame career in my book. I know that's one of your ultimate goals.
Well, it's not a goal.
Well, maybe not a goal, but a hope, a want.
I'm just happy being nominated every year.
Yeah. Because
it keeps you in the conversation, even though now it's getting to the point to where, wait a minute, everybody's passing,
Yep.
I played before him. And,
right.
Okay, he had Peyton Manning and he was super, okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay, he was, he's pretty good. And then the new generation comes and then,
yep.
You go and you speak to some kids and they're like, they say, well, do you guys know who this is?
Right.
And you're going to have one little kid that's going to say, that's Jimmy Smith. I play him on Madden.
Right.
And then everybody Google their phone. Then they're like, okay, he's somebody.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So that happens a lot.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, man. It makes you feel good.
It does. But
well, here's the thing. Look, and I was saying this when Tony was, before he got in.
Yeah.
I said, just go talk to the players that he played against. The top players that he played against. And you ask them, especially the ones that are in the Hall of Fame, go ask them if he's a Hall of Famer, period.
Yeah, ask those guys.
Ask your defensive backs that had to cover you. Hey, what's Jimmy Smith?
I have a quick story regarding that, if I may.
Hit me.
Leon Searcy, who's here every day, former teammate of both of y'all, he told us one time that he was at some event with a lot of the Ravens DBs from back then.
Oh, yeah.
And they were talking about those games and everything, and they said, man, we knew you guys were good. Like, we knew about Tony, we knew about Fred, blah, blah. We were scared of Jimmy Smith.
Oh, yeah.
We were scared.
Yeah.
Straight up. These are some of the best DBs to ever play the game.
Yeah.
Early 2000s Ravens, historic defense, fear. Those guys don't admit they're scared of things. That doesn't happen.
Well, the worst thing that can happen to a corner is what, Smooth? Get beat deep. What do we call them? Toast.
Let me get behind you.
You know what we call toast?
And
it's the worst feeling in the world.
You know, they were drafting first rounders after every year, defensive backs, and I see on draft day, then okay, they got a DB, and then we see him on tape. I'm like, oh, he's not going to work.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
The guy that they had before him, that's happened twice.
Wow.
Even when it happened when it was his DB, what's his name, Walker, number 25 out of Maryland. He was a top cover guy.
Okay.
Didn't work. We blew the doors off of him.
What year was the 290 for 3 touchdowns?
This is me and Keenan.
Yeah.
And Keenan's like, yeah, Jimmy, you're going to kill him if we get him in there. That was a conversation going on.
Awesome.
We didn't talk on the field. We just went out there and just, Keenan would raise the eyebrows like, I wish you would.
Yeah.
Right. So we had a swag, but we wasn't.
No, right.
We wasn't bullies. We wasn't. Yeah. We were a rescue team, not assassins.
Yeah. When was that 293 touchdown game against Baltimore? What year was that?
That was 2000.
That was 2000. All right.
Yeah, that was after all the years I was really killing their ass.
No, I do know.
Yeah, that wasn't like the first time. I mean, they already knew going in that it was going to be.
That's fantastic. Jimmy Smith here, of course. I catch up with Tommy Mack. All right, I heard a quote from Doug yesterday after watching the film. He's got to talk to the media. He says, quote, everything we can control is what he's saying. Basically, we control everything that we did wrong Sunday, and we can control to fix it. Do you agree? I mean, the physicalities, you got to be physical. I mean, it's not a coach getting you fired. I mean, you literally got to look in the mirror and be like, I got to be more physical. I got to do whatever it takes to be more physical. I got to hit that guard harder than I've ever hit somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it takes.
Right.
But everything's under our control. Is it? I don't know. I mean, look, against Houston, you didn't show up at all. They beat you, and they're good now. And Stroud's good.
The loss was similar.
Was kind of similar.
I mean, it's just
came out flat.
No gas in the tank.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we're going to give, what I'm saying? It's just, I'm talking about team-wise.
I know.
Not just here or special teams or,
right.
I'm just saying team-wise overall.
Yep.
Everybody's playing at this level on this day. The losses. And those days is what's going on. So, Coughlin's going to go back and research what happened during that week. What's going on?
We're doing 9 on 7.
Man, Coughlin is going definitely
after that.
Deeper than that.
Yeah, he's
checking the humidity on that day. Did it rain on Monday where we didn't make our correction? I mean, he's going to find out analytically too before they were even doing all this analytics stuff.
Yeah. But then physical practice is forthcoming.
That's no excuse.
Got to get that.
Effort and heart too that you don't develop on the practice field.
Yeah. Well, you got to have that killer mentality. Like you said, you guys didn't talk, but you guys killed them. I mean, you had that killer mentality. So did everybody. We all had it. I mean, that's what made us good.
Yeah, it's got a, I wish you would, kind of mentality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and it was going on the field knowing you're better than who you're playing against. I don't think they went on the field on Sunday thinking they're better than the 49ers.
Yes.
And regardless of what the rest of us think, they need to believe they're better. Right. Josh Allen needs to think, I'm better than Trent Williams. I'm beating him.
Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't think that.
No.
I didn't see it, at least, in my opinion.
Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. I would replace better with tougher.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I know we, as a collective group, we're going to go out there and out-hit you guys. I know that. Yes. San Fran knew that coming in. That was their mindset. What are we going to do? Well, what every good team does on the road. We out-physical the team in front of us. I mean, that's how you try to win these games. Keep the crowd out-hit them, out-physical them. And that's what San Fran did. And we didn't match it, right? Now, Tennessee comes to town, and they're not very good record-wise, Jim, but they'll come after you.
It's just like being in a boxing match with somebody, man. This guy that you don't, he done already lost, 3-4 times in a row, and I've been winning. And this is the real, you can fall into that too.
Right.
Before the game.
Yeah.
And then you come out and you get confirmation. I'm telling you, you get confirmation when you see them fans. When there's more fans and they're breathing over you. I felt the energy. Yeah. I don't know about you, T-Mac. I felt the energy before the game.
Well, one thing that
just, defending our guys on, I understand why and how you played like that.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I understand why you were playing flat like that.
Yep.
Because I felt it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what was embarrassing. Look, I left early too, but San Fran, they stayed.
Yeah.
They were the only ones left in the state. Well, I shouldn't say only because I know a lot of Jag fans stayed to the end, so I don't want to sound like we don't have dedicated fans. But a lot of people in red were there till the end because their team just whooped the crap out of a team that was supposed to be one of the top teams in the AFC. I still think they can be. I'm a little concerned. I don't know. You know as well as I, Smooth, when they get it on tape, right? So now that everyone's watched the 49er tape, what do you think they're going to say? Yeah. Hey, you know what? Let's go smack them in the mouth. We don't think they like to get smacked in the mouth.
That's what the 49ers just went through on their losing streak.
Right.
Everybody got the tape for 3 or 4 weeks, and hey, okay, this is what we're going to do. And Brock Purdy, he's anticipating throwing an in route behind the seam. Okay, here's come Minnesota and Smith. Hey, let's just let's play back and jump the seam. Time because he throws the ball with anticipation. We didn't do that.
No.
We were so far behind, and then when I saw Brock Purdy throwing to wide open receivers, I was like, okay, we're plays behind.
Yep.
And once you get plays behind early and get the momentum, and then there's the fans who I just can't.
So a deep dig is about 18 yards, right? A dig over the middle.
Yeah.
That takes a little time to develop.
Yeah.
And he was hitting Ayuk over those things.
That's the honey hole.
Like, no problem. That's the honey hole, right?
Yeah, right. In that area.
Right.
But you can get there by, routes and schemes.
Right.
And the honey hole is going to be the honey hole regardless.
Right.
Whether it's
there's always a hole.
You run a seam through there and make it bigger and then bring a drag across. It's still the same hole. Or you just line up by formation and run straight to it on a curl or dig route.
Right.
It's still the same hole in the defense. Yep. How are you going to manipulate it and get your players in there?
Right.
So the defense is vice versa.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, the hole is just behind the backers, just in front of the safeties, and in front of the corner that's trying to stay on you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Purdy not only had time, there was no one even close to him when he was making these throws.
I know.
Like clean pocket on steroids.
Yeah.
When the replay would show it on the Jumbotron, you didn't even see a teal jersey when he threw the ball. It was that hole's going to be there every time if you got time to throw it.
Well, and they couldn't stop the run. I mean, McCaffrey was at a 5.9 yards per carry.
Yeah,
that's awful. And we were really good. We've been really good against
the run.
Really good.
Yeah, but his running style and then the way
he doesn't give up.
Well, he's so
he keeps
patient.
churning. Yeah,
he's so patient and then he's tapping his feet. And then I understand Deebo Samuels for seeing him the first time.
Yeah,
he's another running back.
Yeah.
He has patient run, keep his shoulders square, and then he just waits on everybody. Wait on the hole to open.
Yep. What do you think about the? And we're going to wrap up here, but what do you think about the trick play? Kirk, end around toss to ETN almost got his head taken off. By the way, I thought he was going to be knocked out. Surprised he didn't call a penalty on that. They got him pretty good, but I don't like trick plays that early, Jim. To me, it's like you're desperate for something and you can't get it going with your regular offense. So you try to throw this little cute play and it doesn't. I mean, if he hits him, it works and it's great. We all love him, but when it doesn't work, I don't know, man. That seems like an act of desperation.
But in order to run the trick plays, you can't run the trick plays based off their tendencies coming into the game. You got to develop your own tendencies during the game.
Yeah.
See, okay, they were leaving it open against their last opponent.
Right.
They said, okay, some smart guy, hey, we'll just run this reverse pass because they're leaving the whole backside open. Well, against the opponent they were.
Right.
Because they didn't have that threat to throw that.
Right.
So something goes up in your mind, okay, based on what they were doing defensively or offensively last game 2 weeks ago, we're going to try this trick play off of another game.
Yeah.
Well, you got to develop this. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Set it up yourself. Increase the percentage of that play working.
Right.
Or they're going to see your players half-ass run out there. I think that's what we're supposed to do. I think this is how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
I think this is how this fake is supposed to go.
Right.
For example, like run some sweeps and stuff that you actually run and then try to throw it over the top in that same game.
Yeah, Debo's score was just that. When Debo scored on the reverse.
Right.
I mean, because everyone's thinking McCaffrey's going to kill us.
Yep.
Right? It was what you're saying.
Yeah. You got to develop your own percentage of success, and that's by setting the play up. It's called set up.
Yep.
You can't set it up from last week.
No, you can't.
Another opponent.
No. Very interesting stuff. All right, Jimmy Smith here on the show. You mentioned Coughlin we'll wrap it with this, entered into the Ring of Honor, joining you and many greats here in Jacksonville. What do you, when you think of Coach Coughlin, what do you say about Coach Coughlin?
I mean, it's when you do a timeline of my life, and I'm sure yours too.
Oh yeah,
he's on it.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And he's on there, real when you get to him on my timeline, stop.
Yep.
Listen very closely.
Yep.
This is an important part of this story that we're telling.
Yep.
Coughlin was what I needed at the time, being 26.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that style of coaching because we were still kids. We thought we were adults. We weren't adults.
No, I was 25. You were 26.
Yeah, but we thought we were grown.
I know.
Yeah, and he made us feel like we were 6. Didn't he?
Did, yeah. At least somewhere around there, yeah.
And you may not even be doing anything.
Right, no, right. Just
He may just feel your presence, and just say, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I love the man.
Yeah, I love him too, man. He's
and I also think the best part of he was GM too and the coach, so he knew what kind of player he wanted to bring in, right? He knew he wanted not just the athletic talent, but the emotional strength, the mental strength, and guys that couldn't handle it, they weren't around very long. Most of them asked to get out. They'd be like, I can't play for you. Can I get out of here? You know what I mean?
Well, why do it any other way?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody has any leverage.
Right.
Kind of like when it all began.
Yep.
No. Okay, what do you want to do? You want me to be the head coach, or what are your goals?
Right.
Win a Super Bowl? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm in control.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one guy that I wish got along better with him, and he played wide receiver with you, was Willie Jack. 'Cause I thought you, Keenan, and Willie Jack were unbelievable. Like, Willie Jackson, to me, is one of the possession, he was tough to bring down. He was physical, catch the rock. He was a great dude. I loved him.
He was reliable.
Yeah. But him and Coughlin they used to just couldn't do it for whatever reason. It's too bad because
Willie is the type of player. It wasn't going to be any of the coaches.
Right.
He was going to, that's just his personality towards coach. You kind of like, you're not on my side, you're against me. I'm going to prove. He uses that as motivation.
Yeah, as motivation, yeah.
It's not a bad thing, but he's like, I want to show you, coach, because,
good, man.
You should be throwing the ball to me better, more.
Right.
And so he uses this kind of like me against the coach and me against the organization for his motivation to perform on that field.
Yeah.
Well,
it's great.
But Coughlin realized that he was, regardless, if you're tough and you've had to fight for everything, nothing given to you, you were a Coughlin guy.
No doubt.
He didn't want any people in the camp that hadn't had a history of having to fight for something, getting knocked down and getting. He wanted that quality in a player.
Absolutely.
That's why you made so much sense, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because you had to fight your way up in the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, your injuries, your appendix. I mean, you broke your leg.
You weren't handed a starting spot and said, "Here, go play." You had to get through stuff. And you too, Tommy, you're the same thing. You had to fight for a roster spot.
Look at that. TJ Slaughter's watching. What's up, TJ? Did you see TJ this weekend? You know what I said to him? I said, he'll laugh too. I went up to him. I said, dude, how much money are you making on OnlyFans? He's like, I'm not on OnlyFans.
I'm glad TJ's watching. Boy, I love you, boy. I thought was that your brother there? I thought your brother was going to get up and give us a routine.
I know.
No, we love you, though.
We do love TJ. He's a man. His brother walked by. I'm like, man, what are you still lifting? And TJ's like in front of me. He's like, that's my brother. That's not me. I'm like, holy cow. He looks just like him, man. That was great. Great seeing all the guys, man. I love seeing the guys, man. Always great seeing you, my man. Thanks for taking the time.
I love you, boy.
I love you, man. I love you, and we will be buddies to the end of time. That's for damn sure. All right, Jags got to bounce back. Tennessee coming to town. No, they're not that good. They're 3-6, but you know this. They're going to come with a physical attitude. So let's turn it around, boys, and get physical. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay Smooth says, it's a fist fight out there. You got to be tough. You got to counterpunch, and you got to hit them harder than they hit you. So hopefully that happens. I want to thank Team Tommy Mac. Of course, we'll be back Friday. I'll have the horse's mouth on Thursday day. Tommy Mac's happy hour Thursday night. Come on out to the Graffiti Burger Bar, Jags Beach. I know it's supposed to rain. I get it, but we're giving away Jag tickets. So if you want to go to a Jaguar game, come on out this Thursday night to Graffiti Burger Bar. That'll do it for me and Jimmy Smith and Grammage right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Until next time, stay safe and be cool. And we'll see you right here on Catching Up. Peace.